Hello, ladies, gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond. My name is Terrell, and welcome back to the OverAchievers Podcast, episode 13. I need a hero. Joining me today for this supernatural and potentially unlucky episode, if you're a very kind of superstitious person, is the famous Twitch streamer, WhiskeyMongoose. Whiskey, how are you doing?
Hey, what's up? I'm doing good.
Good. Now, if some of you have been on the channel for a little while, you saw the Dear John video, you know Whiskey. He was the only guy who unfortunately... I shouldn't say unfortunately. The only one who was able to do face cam. He gave us that delicious Subway sandwich recipe. I have not actually gone to do that yet. I meant to do that. So I don't know Whiskey personally. I have spoken with him a handful of times in relation to the Dear John video, but he was kind enough to accept my invitation to the podcast. Do you want to give us, you know what, tell the audience real quick kind of what games and what you do on your Twitch channel.
Oh boy. Well, on my Twitch channel, what I do is I just go through games. Like, I choose a game from what I would like to do, and I just play it, and then I got my viewers that I can vote for games that they want them to see me play.
Oh, okay.
So actually, yeah, they can like either they give me a good game, they give me like a good experience, either they give me like a game of their childhood, you know, games that there's a little bit of a nostalgia attached to it, or they just troll me with like Playboy Mansion.
Can you play that on Twitch? Like, is that allowed? Isn't that against TOS?
I think it's allowed.
What?
Yeah, because Playboy Mansion is actually like a kind of a Sims games.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's not really like, it's not what you think, you know.
Yeah, that.
But,
okay.
Yeah, it's like, or there is. I have a list of like stuff, and people are just like putting in stuff right there. Like, I got Elden Ring, but I don't own Elden Ring, so I cannot like actually play it.
How do you not own Elden Ring? How do you not own like the biggest game in the entire, one of the biggest games in the entire world right now?
We're not all rich. I mean, what is it? $90 thing?
I think it's 80 Canadian.
Yeah, 80 Canadian is actually Elden Ring. Yeah, it is $79.99.
Give me a quick second here, because I need to check something. So, as you know, John and I and Chris all play this, and episode 6 of the podcast was about Elden Ring.
Oh. And
so I need to know... Okay, so right now I have 162.5 hours in Elden Ring.
Oh, shit.
Guess how many hours John has in Elden Ring?
Way too many?
308.
Oh.
And what systems do you play on for Twitch?
PC.
Okay.
But recently I got myself a capture card.
Oh.
That's the funny thing. It's like I'm complaining that I cannot buy Elden Ring, but I buy myself a capture card. Oh my god.
Okay, so for those of you listening at home, go to his Twitch channel. Make sure you get him, you just vote on the most ridiculous games and troll the hell out of him, because it's going to be funny to me. So, Whiskey, what game are you going to be talking about today?
I'm going to be talking about honestly, one of the best game I ever played, I think.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Like, the game that I just want to get back to it, like, every single time. But, when you just complete something like that, it's hard to go back. But, yeah, we're going to be talking about Loop Hero today.
Oh, okay. Sounds good to me. Sorry, it's just, I thought you wanted to talk about SteamWorld Hand of Gilgamesh. I didn't realize you wanted to do Loop Hero.
Well, I think you asked me, like, if two games, basically.
Right.
So I was kind of like, should I head towards, Loop Hero? Should I head toward, SteamWorld?
No, because that was totally my assumption, because, yeah, you would mention SteamWorld, and I was kind of like, okay, whatever you want to do, and I kind of didn't follow up, so that's on me. And if you ever need to, I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with this, anything like this, I can always cut. That's easy. So if you ever need to take a break, let me know. Okay, so before we get into the description of the game, I do want to mention that Whiskey's Twitch channel and any other related links will be in the description down below. Make sure to check him out. He does amazing stuff. So, Whiskey, can you describe Loop Hero for those who are either listening to this just on the podcast side of things or who have never played the game?
Yeah, Loop Hero is actually a kind of it's very unique. It's a kind of like tower defense RPG, but like you, instead of you putting up towers, you are putting up monsters in order for your hero to fight. And like you drop, you know, items like, you know, weapons, shield, armor, and you just equip your hero so that he becomes stronger as the monsters are becoming stronger as well. But the thing is that it's not called Loop Hero for a reason. It's like your character goes on a certain path in a loop for many days until he actually beat the boss of you know, of the zone, basically.
Okay. Now, I have played Loop Hero a little bit myself. I've got just under 6 hours in it, so I can corroborate everything he's saying. You can, in the beginning, you only get kind of the base class, but then you unlock more classes as you go along. You also get kind of a base building mechanic for different passive stats, but I haven't gotten nearly as far into this game as I'm sure he has, so I'm really curious to see for myself kind of how this journey goes.
Well, it's like I've basically done everything in it. That's what I was saying. It's like it's kind of hard to go back to it because, you know, you just done like everything in that game. It's like basically for the 100% achievement, you have to kill like a, well, you know, the last boss, and you do the other achievement like yada yada, but you can also do like another step, which is killing the king frog, the 4 creators, which is are the 4 devs that work on the game, that are like a hidden boss, basically.
Oh wow.
So yeah, it's like all these small things that you can just like do. You know, frogging actually is like a specific way to do it. I think it's like you have to put, you know, all swamps around the map, basically. And like, therefore you fight Frog-king in the end. And, you know, for the creators, the 4 creators, basically you have to do something else. But yeah, like 100% achievement.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's interesting. So how many achievements does Loop Hero have?
50.
Okay, so it's got a healthy number, I would say.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to get all achievements?
Oh boy, that was a bit long. Well, especially for like the last one, because, you know, almost nobody has those. Obviously, because they're, you know, kind of hard to get. But basically, like, I got about, I would say 88 hours.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so is this something like when you first started playing, did you kind of have this mindset of, I'm gonna go for all achievements, or did it kind of develop over time? You know, you got a couple as you were playing through and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna try for this?
It developed over time. Like, you know, basically the reason why I've discovered Loop Hero is because I was watching Sicriel on Twitch. And he was playing that game, and I was like, you know, at first thought, it looked kind of lame. But at the same time, you know, watching and playing is not the same thing, right? So
no, absolutely.
I was like, all right, I think I'm gonna try it. It looks kind of decent, you know. And you know, I played it. I was not expecting much. I really liked the game, and then I was like, maybe I should 100% it. And I liked it so much that, yeah, 100% came true really fast. Well, I mean, 88 hours. Not that
that's
fast,
crazy. Because like, I couldn't get past the first real boss in the game. I just, I don't know what else I was playing at the time, or kind of what was going on in my life. So I don't know if it was just kind of a mindset kind of thing, or just didn't grip me, or what was going on. But I've only got like 9 achievements in it right now.
Well, I mean, that's pretty okay. I mean, it's really it's there's a learning curve to that game, you know. So maybe it's not that easy, but it's also a bit of a roguelite-ish, where when you die, so you just restart. So I think it's normal if you didn't beat the first boss in 6 hours, because it makes sense that you just have to start over a few times in order to beat it.
Fair.
You know?
Yeah, and I want to get back to it at some point, absolutely, but I just have so much on my plate. So, okay, I want to get into some specifics here. What do you feel were the hardest and easiest achievements for you as you were playing?
I think, well, obviously the easiest, I mean, you can go like in the achievements of the game basically, and you know, the easiest achievement you can get is to embark on your first expedition. You know, which is pretty standard because you still have to do that. I mean, it's the first expedition.
Yeah, it's the first thing you have to do. You don't really have a choice. And that's fair.
Yeah, but like 2.4% of people didn't get that achievement.
Right.
So like there are people out there that didn't play the game at all.
Yeah, no, and that's still weird to me that they include the people who purchased it but never really gotten to the point of actually doing anything in it.
Yeah. And the hardest one though, and I think you're gonna be a bit jealous about that, maybe. The hardest one, I think, and it is the last one I had to complete, I think, if I remember well, and it was to defeat the boss in the first expedition.
Wait, what? Wait,
exactly.
What? So is that the achievement punching bag? Because I can't see the description here. Hang on. Okay, so explain. How can you go getting every other achievement except beating the boss of the first expedition?
Well, the thing is that, you know, when you do the first expedition,
yeah.
Well, you know, the how it goes is like you have one stage basically, which you have the first boss. You get another stage where you have the second boss, and the thing is that it works by expedition. So if you go on your first expedition and you die, then it goes to your second expedition, and it goes on and on. So basically, what I had to do for this achievement was to create a new game, and when you embark for the first expedition, you actually beat the boss by then. So that means you need you cannot, obviously you cannot do that when you know, you're new to the game, obviously. I don't think like there's anybody out there that is playing the game for the first time and is actually gonna do that achievement by mistake. Yeah,
that's fair. It is a difficult game, absolutely.
Yeah, so you really have to know, you need the knowledge of the game to basically do that.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Like, I find a lot of games, the first boss is sometimes unintentionally the hardest, only because you don't have all the gear, all the skills, and all the capabilities that you're going to have by, say, the end of the game.
Of course.
And so even though they're scaling up the difficulty of the boss, you don't have that same level of preparedness.
Exactly. I mean, and you know very well, you know, Dark Souls, it's a really good example. Like the freaking what is it called? The first one in the
in Dark Souls, Asylum Demon.
Is it?
Yes. So for Dark Souls 1, it's Asylum Demon. For Demon Souls, it's Demon Jailer or something like that. I don't remember the name. Dark Souls 2, first boss is usually Last Giant, and Dark Souls 3, it's Iudex Gundyr.
Okay, well, I mean, Asylum Demon is not that hard, let's be honest. When you get to Taurus Demon,
yeah, that
I think that one can rock the world.
Absolutely,
pretty much.
Absolutely. Also, feel free to swear. I could just bleep it out. It's easy.
Oh, okay, sounds good.
Yeah, don't worry about censoring yourself. I'll take care of that.
All right.
So, okay, outside of those achievements, what did you feel were kind of the most and least fun for you to do?
Well, it depends. Like, obviously there's different class, right? And each different class has a really specific way of playing. Like the what is it called? The warrior is kind of tanky. The rogue is kind of like dodgy.
Yeah, he avoids attacks and yeah.
Yeah, and the summoner is more well, it summons skeletons for you basically.
Okay.
And like every time you had to choose another class, it was really kind of hard to start that class basically, because it plays so different. Not only it has different equipment, but also like the way it plays is like very different than the other one.
Yeah, I remember I tried to do like a vampire rogue build where I just kind of used the lifesteal, and it was so weird doing that versus having like 100 health as the knight. Yeah, no, I never unlocked summoner, but I can't imagine how hard or different that would be from the other two.
Yeah, because summoners, you kind of have like your RNG on what kind of skeletons you're gonna get as well.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Yikes.
that adds to the thing.
Oh man, that would be unfortunate. So what do you think the most fun was for you then?
I mean, definitely just going through the game.
Okay.
Like I said, I didn't expect much of that game, but when I played it and I just got into it, then you just get to, the last boss, which is Omega.
Yep.
And when you just kill Omega for the first time, you're like, oh, I feel so good. You just basically pass the game,
Yeah. Okay. No,
so
that's
yeah.
fair. And yeah, I would agree that visually speaking, it doesn't look like much, but then you get into it and you're like, hang on, why is this good? This feels like it shouldn't be as good as it is.
Yeah, it's really pixely.
Pixel art style.
Yeah, it's almost not pixel art at this point. It's just like it feels so retro.
Yeah, I don't know what I would call it either.
It's
because it's not
it's
quite
obviously
voxel.
2D, but
yeah, but I don't know. It's in a weird middle ground almost.
Yeah, but
that's fair.
So good.
So okay, this one's gonna need some explaining, even for me. So I see the rarest achievement on here is called Broken Geography. In one expedition, place 10 cards you didn't have in your deck, not including Oblivion. So what? Can you explain the mechanics of that one? Because I know with each run you kind of get a set number of cards that you can place down for your hero to like go through the village or go through the vampire court, whatever, to get experience. What does this one mean?
Well, it's like I'll try to remember well, because the last time I played this game was in 2021.
Okay.
July.
Yep.
But if I remember well, there is some tiles that you can get and place on your map, so that every time you pass this tile, you get a certain set of random cards.
Okay.
And you have like a probability that's going to give you a card that you don't have in your deck. So yeah, that's basically how you do it. But you have to last long enough to
be able to play all those cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. And do you think it deserves its position as like the rarest achievement, or do you think there's one that's almost harder to get that you're surprised people haven't gotten?
Well, I think it's not something you would get like on a usual like run. Like you really need to know that this kind of achievement exists in order to hunt.
Oh, okay.
To hunt it.
Yeah.
Because like, after all that, all the other achievements are pretty like kind of straightforward.
Gotcha.
Like, oh, you have to defeat Omega for the first time. You have to defeat the Hunter for the first time. Then you got like defeat the Hunter 3 times and like defeat Omega 6 times. Those are things that you just do like all the time, basically.
Gotcha.
Like Omega was maybe the second to last achievement I got to defeat Omega 6 times.
Oh wow.
because you need to get like end game, and it's really hard basically to get there. But yeah, I think it kind of deserved like the hardest achievement to get, because it's kind of like out of the box kind of thing.
Okay, that makes sense. So what would you consider kind of the most memorable achievement that you got? Is it one you've already mentioned, or is it one you haven't talked about yet?
Well, depends. Like, are we talking like achievement, or just like milestone in the game?
Let one up both. So separate categories. So one for milestone and one for achievement.
All right, sounds good. So, you know, obviously, the last one I've completed, which is to defeat the boss in the first expedition, was kind of a relief.
That's
because
fair.
I did worked a lot on that achievement.
Yeah.
Well, basically, I think it took me like a complete day of grinding.
Oh wow.
Because, you know, I defeated Omega 6 times on July 2nd. And then I did the to defeat the boss in the first expedition on July 3rd.
Okay.
So I did Omega, and then I just started a new game, and I started grinding like to defeat the first boss in the first expedition. And as a milestone, I would say to defeat the devs.
Okay, so how hard are the devs to beat? Because I don't imagine they're easy.
They are actually pretty hard.
That's fair.
I think they're harder than Omega.
Oh
basically.
wow.
Yeah, so you really need a kick-ass build before you get there. But the thing is that it's not an achievement. It's just like basically an Easter egg.
Okay, because I did see there was one. What is it here? Sorry, I just gotta scroll. There was one encounter: Deceiver, Blinch, the Random, and Finlal. Is that for the devs, or are those just other things?
Hold on, where is it?
It's. I don't have the achievement name here. Hang on. Oh no, I don't have the achievement name. Because I've got the description, but then I don't know what the name is. So basically there's no achievement for beating the devs as the secret bosses.
Not that I recall.
Oh.
Because so the Loop Hero, secret bosses. I think that's what we should call it. Loop Hero secret bosses. The true creators. Yeah, it's to kill. It's the Deceiver, the Random, Blinch, and Finlal.
Yeah, okay. So there is an achievement for meeting all of them or encountering them, but there's not, as far as I'm aware, an achievement for beating them. At least I think. Unless the site that I'm using is lying to me. Which it very well may. I think it is.
Know your source, guys.
Yeah, so I will link the a proper source that has the listed achievements here, because I was looking at the Loop Hero wiki and it had hidden achievements that I thought were, get kind of full-fledged regular achievements. Apparently they are not. So they may be like an in-game achievement to give you a bit of a reward, but they are not an officially recognized achievement on Steam.
Yeah, exactly. I think like that's what I was talking about, like milestone versus, actual achievements.
Gotcha.
Because when you watch on Steam the achievements, the one that are pretty like the hardest to get, they're actually the true creators should be there, but they're not. So
no, that's fair. Okay, so similar question. I want to know, in your opinion, which is harder to do? To defeat Omega for the first time, or to defeat the boss on your first expedition?
Oh, defeat the boss on the first expedition.
Okay, interesting.
Because again, it's like, you know, when you go and defeat Omega, like basically you basically have all the cards. You basically have like, you know, the experience. You can choose the class that you want to do as well. The thing with the first expedition boss, it's you have limited stuff. Like you only have one class, which is a warrior. You only have like a few tiles that are like the basic tiles, and you have to grind and drop the equipment that are strong enough to make you tank the first boss at the first expedition.
Yeah, that's fair, and that's a huge pain in the ass.
It is.
Okay, that it's really ironic though, because Omega is meant to be like literally the end if we're gonna put it in the English language, and it's just like he seems to be such a middle of the road boss in terms of difficulty by comparison to some of these others you've talked about.
Oh, I mean, he is like the first time I defeated Omega was on June 28th.
Okay.
And I defeated Omega 6 times on July 2nd.
Oh wow, so that's not a lot of time between.
Yeah, well, it is quite a few days, right? So
yeah, fair.
It's not like, example, if I've beat it like 5 other times, you know, what a true game where you meet Omega is like maybe like, I'd say maybe 45 minutes, an hour long.
Oh wow.
So yeah,
so how many expeditions do you have to go through before you can fight Omega in each run?
A lot.
Okay.
It's well, I mean, it's for Omega, you know, because, well, obviously you beat the first boss, then you unlock the second well. Well, I think the first boss is called Lich. Then you got the priestess.
Oh, the priestess.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And then you have the hunter, and then you have Omega.
Yeah.
But the thing is that, if I remember well, Omega, it's been a long time, you know.
That's
Omega,
fair.
it's like when you choose the world with Omega, I think as you do the loops, I think you have to fight all the bosses from before.
Oh, okay.
Before getting to Omega.
Gotcha.
If I remember well.
And I haven't gotten far enough to know myself.
Well, yeah, because you didn't beat the first boss. Well, I mean, yeah.
You rub it in, why don't you? I'll maybe get there one day. There's so many things to play right now.
Oh yes, there is. Oh my god.
Anyway, let's move on before I get super embarrassed and just run to the ground here. Is there an achievement you would remove from the game, and why? If there's not, that's cool too. Like it's a more, if there was one, why would you want to remove that one?
Well, I think it would be like the obvious ones.
Okay.
Like, example, to die for the first time.
Yeah, that's fair. Those are kind of gimmies.
Yeah, it's like they're not. Let's say it's not really achievements at this point. It's just like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so you're saying, like, you know, get rid of die for the first time, but throw in the devs as a proper achievement.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Or
no,
like,
that's fair. And yeah, I don't know. Gimme achievements have always been. I have a love-hate relationship with them personally.
Or like remove the first expedition achievement.
Okay.
And just like put maybe like 100 because it's gonna happen, but it takes more time.
Gotcha. So do you think
just not obvious one.
Okay. So do you think you've done over 100 expeditions at this point?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
On June 20,
yeah,
I was embarking on my 50th expedition.
Oh wow.
And that was only June 20.
Yeah.
So,
and you've got weeks after that.
Yeah, and like let's say I've embarked on the first expedition on June 16.
Okay.
And it took like 49 more expedition to get to June 20.
And that's only 4 days. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I think it's safe to say you've passed 100.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh man, that's crazy. That is crazy. Anyway, we've reached the halfway point in the episode, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond. So if you wouldn't mind liking, subscribing, commenting on the YouTube channel, or if you're on the podcast, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcast, most major podcast platforms. I would love to see this channel grow. And I'll remind you again, Whiskey's Twitch channel is in the description of both the podcast and the YouTube channel. Please go check him out. He does great gaming content. With that, we'll get back into the episode. Sorry, I had to do a quick ad read.
Sorry.
So, getting back into it, is there a way to soft lock yourself out of any achievements? You know, like, is there a way to do something where, you know, you couldn't get an achievement in that particular run, not because, like, you glitched the game, but because you did something that you weren't supposed to do?
I don't think so.
Fair enough.
Because, you know, they're all pretty obvious that, like, the way that you can get them.
Yeah.
Like, I'd say if there is something that you cannot really complete because you kind of soft lock yourself out from, is like more like milestone-ish.
Okay.
But like, yeah, there's no achievement that you can basically just like not get because you soft lock or anything.
Okay. Yeah, this question is here because of a game that I'm going to be talking about or that I have talked about at this point when this episode comes out. So, in Kingdoms of Amalur, if you've ever played that, it's an RPG. Part of the main quest, if you know what you're doing, you can go destroy these crystals before you get the quest to do it. The problem is, and this is like 3/4, 4/5 of the way into the game, if you destroy these crystals before you get the quest to do so, they don't respawn and the quest never gets marked as complete, and it's a story quest. So you can't finish the game if you've done it too early. Wow. And I found that out when I was going for all achievements, and I destroyed the crystals, and then I took the quest because I was just like, hey, I'm here anyway. And then I realized I soft locked myself after 40 hours.
Oh. Gosh.
Yeah, I had to start all over again. So that is why this question is always going to be in every episode, because there has to be more than one game, and there has to be more than one person that has done this. I can't be the only one.
Gosh, that's painful.
Yeah, it sucks. Oh god.
But yeah, no, I don't think there is anything in Loop Hero that can get you that kind of trouble for sure.
Good. So, okay, in your experience, how many times do you think, like, say the minimum number you would need to beat the game to get all achievements?
Oh boy. Quite a few times.
Fair enough. No, fair enough. So, like, if you were to do everything perfectly every time and you got, like, the best tiles, how many, like, what do you think is the most optimum number you could get?
I'd say, like, optimum, like, your solo key to do everything, I'd say maybe, like, 10 days, like, hardcore.
Yeah.
More casually, I'd say, well, casually, I'd say maybe, like, a good 20-25 days.
Okay. And well, casually like, being like a couple runs a day sort of a thing?
Exactly. It's like, gotcha. Where you just, you don't hunt, or you just like grind the hell out of it, you know? Just like casually playing. I think like a good 20-25 days, maybe at 30 at this point, even.
Basically, you're going to devote a month to this game, whether you like it or not.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you really want to like, get all the achievement, yes.
Fair enough. No, fair enough. Okay. So, does the game reward you in any way for getting all achievements? Like, is there any anything in game that changes?
Nope.
Okay, that's really sad.
It is a bit sad, but I kind of understand why. You know, it's not a thing, because I mean, there's always the satisfaction of like getting 100% anyways. So I don't need no bling bling in like my game to make me like feel proud of anything. I mean,
okay. So do you think that other games should have a reward for getting all achievements, like in the game as a gameplay feature or mechanic, or just leave it like Loop Hero where you just have the satisfaction you've done it?
I'll say leave it like Loop Hero.
Okay.
Yeah, because sometimes there's games out there you just like, oh, if you get that achievement, you get to get that super good gun that one-shots everything.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, thanks, but that kind of sucked.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. It's funny. John and I are kind of... Sorry, go ahead.
It's kind of like, it's more genuine to just like, do your stuff. Well, congrats, you 100% it, and that's it,
Mm-hmm. That's fair. It's funny. John and I are kind of the opposite in some ways. Like, we just... And I mean, he's talked about this plenty, too. We kind of feel like it's almost a bit of a kick in the teeth, right? Where you do get the satisfaction you've gotten all achievements, but then you don't get this tangible reward as a result. It just kind of feels like the game doesn't care sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends of what kind of reward it is, because if you're making my armor all golden because I have 100% the game, sure, that's fine. But like sometimes they kind of overdo it.
Yeah.
For the like achievements and stuff. It's like,
gotcha.
Yeah. I like on a ranking.
Yeah.
It's like, my armor is golden. Sure, thanks. I don't have anything for it. And then you have like oh, thanks for giving me the god gun or something.
God. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. See, and I also think it's a bit of a different story when you're talking about games that say you don't need to get 100% in to get all achievements. Like, there are plenty of games that John and I have talked about already that you can get all achievements and still have to do 20% of the quests or the collectibles, or something else is still there to do. And it feels like in those cases, you would have a use for this kind of reward that you got from all achievements, as opposed to just, you've already done everything, so therefore getting anything else is pointless now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can see Loop Hero really not giving that same satisfaction.
Yeah,
like if they were to give you something.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, I mean, it can be kind of hard to, give us something in Loop Hero at the same time, because what do you want to give me? Like, you want to make my character like 3D because I passed the game, I did 100% achievement? You want to make me fight the unicorns instead of spiders? No, it's like, I mean, it would be hard to give skins or stuff like that for completing that.
Yeah, that's fair. And so, okay, I'm back on the wiki fandom that had the milestones that I thought were achievements, and apparently each of these milestones, or as they call them, hidden achievements, are found on the left side of the trophy page in game, and each is displayed with an icon that plays a 3D effect when clicked on. So what? I think, yeah, that's what this wiki page says.
Oh my god, what? I got it.
So yeah, there's one for defeat a dark slime, defeat 1%, defeat Frog King, encounter the 4 devs, and apparently if you go to, again, the left-hand side of the trophies page and you click on them, they will display a 3D effect.
What the hell? I didn't know about that.
And I love discovering things on this podcast. It's great, because like, you're talking about it, then you're like, hang on, I didn't know this was a thing, and then immediately go check it.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'll go check after.
That's fair.
And
so
I could send you like the footage.
Yeah, by all means, please. So okay, let's play off this. If they could, put in a mechanic where if you got all achievements, you were able to click on the achievements in the achievements game page and have a 3D effect play, would something like that feel rewarding, or would that just feel kind of tacky?
Well, I mean, in this situation, I think it will be all right.
Okay.
As we were talking about Loop Hero, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I think for the game itself, it's fine.
Fair enough. So I think other developers should take note if they somehow ever listen to this podcast. Do small things. You know, don't give us some grand ultimate golden gun. Make your achievements 3D. Give them a little special effect to say you've gotten everything. To do something small that feels nice but doesn't go overboard, I think is what we can take away from that.
Exactly. I think you make a briefing out of that really good. Like, this is spot on.
Thank you. So we've already kind of answered the next question. So we'll move on to this one. Does it feel like the devs cared about the achievements? Like, does it feel like they were kind of slapdash together, or did they really think about what should and shouldn't be an achievement?
I mean, they kind of cared.
Okay.
Because, you know, obviously you have the first obvious one, but there's still achievement out there that you need to do to replay the game. So I mean, if they didn't care about that, I think there would have been like way less achievements.
Okay.
They would have stayed like just the obvious one, you know, that's it, like defeat Omega a single time, defeat the Hunter a single time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like you have like defeat Omega 6 times, and you got the first expedition boss thing too. So yeah, no, I think they cared a lot, actually.
But they don't care enough to make these hidden milestones achievements in themselves.
Well, I think it's because maybe, and I think maybe because, you know, I'm not part of the dev team.
Yeah.
Maybe since they are Easter egg, they're not like related to the lore of the story.
Okay.
And therefore, they don't put it as real achievements because it doesn't reflect what it is to actually, you know, grind the game. As, you know, the Frog King, it's just like a secret boss, basically. So
gotcha,
it's not really part of the lore, I guess.
Interesting. Okay, I wouldn't know. I genuinely wouldn't know what is and isn't part of like the main lore, the main canon.
Yeah.
I still gotta get there. Okay, so we've already answered this next one. So do the achievements feel unique in the genre? And for this one, let's call like the genre of roguelike. Just a general roguelike. Like, do they feel unique to the game, or is it kind of, if I played any other roguelike with building mechanics, I would find similar achievements?
I think it would be pretty similar.
Okay.
Because, you know, when you play other roguelike, you know, that are, you know, platformers like Hollow Knight or like Skull, the Hero Slayer, you know, other games like that, I think like you pretty much get achievement for getting through certain parts of the game, like kill the first boss, kill the second boss, die 10 times, and, you know, get that kind of an item. You know, I think it's pretty common.
Okay,
as
that's fair.
Roguelikes.
Do you play a lot of roguelikes, or is this kind of a special case?
I kind of play quite a few of them.
Okay.
Yeah, because I mean, roguelikes are they're so good, right?
I don't know, like for me, I feel like I'm gonna get too sucked into them, and like I like a conclusion to my story, and I feel like, especially say Dead Cells, for example, where you have the true ending of the game that's locked behind doing all of the, you know, a laundry list of things, I would keep playing until I got that true ending because it would piss me off if I didn't.
True.
And I don't know if I could spend that much time for like one game.
I mean,
I say this as I've spent hundreds of hours in Dark Souls, but that's a separate issue.
Exactly. I mean, it's that's like 50-50.
Okay.
Because it depends on the game, right?
Yeah.
Like you would do that with Dark Souls, but you wouldn't do that with Civilization.
No, I don't think I could.
So that's, well, not that Civilization is a roguelike, but
no, but I get you. It's one of those ones that effectively plays like a roguelike because it's different every game. I mean, exactly. I own so many roguelikes. I own Loop Hero, I own Skull, the Hero Slayer, I own Hades, I own Loopmancer, I own so many that I've just never gotten around to playing.
Quite the library.
Let's see. If I could search by a tag on my Steam profile, I would let you know. Is there a tag for roguelike? There is not. Actually.
If there's a roguelike tag on Steam?
Yeah, okay, so 1 sec. Okay, how many do I have here? Under the roguelike tag, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, God. I've got, like, probably 30?
Hold on.
So, yeah, I think I own about 30 that have the roguelike tag in them.
So, with the roguelike tag, I own 123.
Oh my God.
And yeah, there's quite a lot in there.
That
like
is
Crypt of the Necrodancer. Amazing game.
See, I've seen Crypt of the Necrodancer. I have not played it personally.
Oh man, you're missing something.
I'm missing a lot, okay? Like, okay, how many Steam games do you own?
Oh gosh, you want to get there?
Yes, because I only own, oh God, how is it? I think it's like 455 or something like that.
Okay, I own 1,842 games on Steam.
Oh my God.
And it does not include all the games I still haven't redeemed on Humble Bundle.
Jesus Christ. And, okay, I was wrong. I own 563. So you own twice as many games as me. And your roguelikes collection alone constitutes over a fifth of what I own in general. That's insane.
Yeah.
So needless to say, I think you're a little more well acquainted with the roguelike genre than I am.
Yeah, well, I mean, it depends. You've played quite a few in there that I didn't play, you know, like Dead Cells or like Hades.
Oh, I own them. I haven't played them.
Oh, okay.
At least not very much, because again, I'm so worried about sinking hundreds of hours into them because I feel I need to.
Yeah, but yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I got the library out there.
Yeah. Oh man, that's crazy. Okay, so this is what I'm always curious about. Did you use any guides to help you get these achievements?
Oh, I mean, yeah, obviously.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Guides for achievements? No.
Oh.
Guides for milestone.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because, you know, obviously, the achievements are pretty obvious, right?
But, I mean, it doesn't sound like all of them are. Especially the last, like, the rarest one.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, you kind of, well, I mean, sure. Hold on. Do you refer as a guide to know, like, the hidden achievement or how to get them? Either
or. So I would say more on how to get them. I don't, in my mind, personally, looking up what the hidden achievements are does not count as a guide to me. But looking up how to get them does.
Okay, so me neither. So it's like I've looked at the list of hidden achievement.
Yeah.
To get them.
Okay.
But I didn't see how to do it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, by my definition, you have not used a guide then.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Except the milestone.
Okay. Which is funny because I use a guide almost any chance I get.
Oh well, I mean, it does make everything easier, right?
Yeah, and I mean. This is, again, something I've talked about with John is I play games to have fun. If I can have more fun by making it just that little bit easier on myself, I will absolutely do it. I run a monthly podcast where I talk about doing this stuff. Half the time I'm covering games that I've done, so I need to keep up with, you know, making sure I have games to talk about. When, of course, episode like this comes around where I can just talk to you about a game you've done, it's so much easier for me because then I'm like, okay, that's another month that I don't need to do something. But at the same time, I need to keep myself going for the sake of the podcast. So I'm like, I need to do this kind of quickly. And I'm terrible at games. I am awful. When you see my gameplay in any video, I'm like, it's bad.
Yeah, I think I saw quite a few Dark Souls videos with
God.
John.
I'm so bad. So, okay, would you recommend then other people use a guide, or do you think they should go at it by just looking at what the hidden achievements are and what the milestones are and go from there?
I mean, I think they should go just, casually, just look at the list and just try to do them by yourself.
Okay.
And if after a couple of time, or after, you kind of get like a, cranky or angry, upset about like not getting them,
yeah,
then at this point I think it's fine to just go for the guide, because I don't think that the game needs any hatred.
Yeah.
Like games are made to be enjoyed, and yeah, don't get too mad about it.
Gotcha.
Use guides.
Fair enough. Okay. Is there one in particular you'd recommend, or just you haven't looked them up so you wouldn't know?
You mean for guides? Or?
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't.
Okay, so I will look up guides on the internet. I will see if there are any that kind of come highly recommended by other people, and I will put that in the description down below if you decide you want to try this stuff out.
Yeah, it's like one of those is like the one from Polygon.com.
Okay.
That says like how to summon the secret boss.
Yeah.
Which is like really well explained. But once again, that's a milestone. It's not an achievement.
Fair enough. And to some people, those are very different. Like me, I personally go for achievements over milestones, because that's the kind of thing where I can show it for public validation. I can just put my Steam profile in the description, which I'm going to start doing, to say, hey, look, I got these achievements. You can see it right there. Whereas a milestone, you can't really show to the public, or you can't really prove to someone else without bringing them over and showing them your game specifically.
Exactly, or like screenshots or stuff like that.
And even then, people just argue, oh, it's fake. If like people on the internet, I mean, I don't think if your friend's calling you out, your friend's an asshole. But like people on the internet are just gonna be, oh, that was Photoshop, that was fake, you didn't actually do it, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But achievements are a little harder to do that with.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, so did getting all achievements change the way you look at the game? Do you regret doing it at all?
Oh, not at all.
Okay.
Actually, the more you grind in Loop Hero, I think the more you kind of get more into it,
Okay.
Like,
that makes sense. You just get more invested.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like hunting for those achievements just makes the game better, because you discover so many things that you did not really expect to discover in the first place. So, like getting 10 skeletons with the summoner at the same time.
Oh, that sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty cathartic.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
Nice. Okay, so final question before we close out here. Would you recommend other people go for like an all achievements run? And I'm going to break this down into two separate questions. Would you recommend they go for all achievements and all milestones? Or if you are going to recommend it in general, and you may not, if you do recommend it, would you say just go for all achievements but not all milestones?
I mean, it depends of like your status of a gamer.
Okay.
I mean, if you're a true like achievement hunter,
yeah,
go for everything.
Okay.
And if you're just like, casual about it, just go for the 100%. Show it off on Steam.
All right.
And yeah, because I mean, once again, the achievement are pretty straightforward. So, except like the very bottom one in the like the 10 cards things.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first, folks. I've officially been called a casual because I don't go for milestones.
Step up your game. Let's go.
Right? Oh my god. I think you're the first person to come on my podcast and call me a casual. And I mean, don't get me wrong, rightfully so. I'm okay with it. I am. It's just, ouch. The truth hurts.
I mean, Loop Hero, you're kind of in my turf, right? So,
I mean, hey, I'm sure I'll have you on for other episodes where I'm also going to be in your turf and will still get called out, which is totally fine with me.
And that would be fine with me too.
I hope so. You're calling me out for it. Anyway, I wanted to say a huge thank you to WhiskeyMongoose for being here. I really appreciate you coming on here.
Hell yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between and beyond, so much for being here, for watching and or listening. Just remember, we are on YouTube at the Tease Table YouTube channel. We are on majority of major podcast platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and so many more under the OverAchievers Podcast label. Feel free to check us out there. Follow Whiskey on Twitch. Make sure to check him out on Twitter. I'll have that link to the description if he has one. Follow me on Twitter at TTYT22 for any guests or games you would love to see on the channel, and any feedback on the podcast. I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear what you've got all achievements in. Anyway, thank you again so much for watching and or listening, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!
Cheers!